You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and this is a Taccia ink from the Ukiyo-e line. This is Hokusai-sabimidori, as it says here, and this was sent to me by my friend Beth to check out. In fact, my wife asked for it because she saw it and thought it looked cool, and darn it, she was right. Look at this beautiful blue ink. Remember that it's blue, right? This line of inks, these Ukiyo-e lines, are meant to celebrate the Ukiyo-e woodcut paintings from Japan, and you need to Google some of those up because they are amazing. This particular one comes from a painting by Hokusai, which is called The Fields of Sikkim by the Sumida River, I believe. I got that information from Macchiato Man. I will put his the link to that blog post down in the description below. Go check that out for all kinds of information on this stuff. So let's take a look at what this ink looks like. Since we've seen it's definitely a blue, right? There you go. Look at how blue it is. It's not blue at all. One of the cool things about this ink is that it changes color drastically as it dries, and it looks really good on all kinds of paper. I haven't found a paper where I don't like this ink yet, honestly. But you see this awesome tealy, kind of foresty, kind of like verdant green down here with this sort of like rusty sheen, rusty red-ish kind of coppery sheen, I guess. This ink is so interesting. When you put down a scribble, it's going to be blue, and then it's going to change to this green. So this is the color change you have going on from that blue to this teal. Super neat. And it's also not iron gall. Sometimes you'll see that sort of thing with iron galls. This ink just changes color. It's rad. Okay, so I have this on my normal Rhodia 80 grams per square meter paper, which I quite like, and I think this ink runs a bit on the wet side. It's not super wet, like it's not a gusher or anything, but it does definitely feel kind of wet, and I've had it in this pen for, well, since I got this pen, actually. This is a Spoke Icon, which is a new pen from Spoke. This is their fountain pen, and I got it in this gorgeous, like bright blue and silver colorway. Whew! What a combo. It is eye-searing, and I love it. These have Yovo nibs. This is a Yovo number 6 nib in a medium, and it has been great in here. In fact, this is my third fill of this ink. I like it so much, I can't stop using it. So, yeah, this is good. I'm glad my friend Beth sent me this very generous sample because I've been using this ink, man. And I'm going to have to pony up for a bottle, I think is what that means. So, performance. A little bleed and feather on the 20-pound paper. This is the 20-pound, 30% recycled copy paper from Staples. It is the worst paper around for all kinds of things, but it doesn't have too many problems on here. You will see for sure some small amount of bleeding, a little bit of spreading, a little bit of feathering, but not much. Here's like a few dots of bleed. That's not too bad. And remember, this paper is bad, so that's pretty impressive actually for that. So check that out. So this is an ink that I had a little bit of trouble finding direct information on, so I went to a bunch of blogs and found information there. Like I said, go check out this Macchiato Man post that I will put down in the description. But it tells me all kinds of information about these, the work that inspired these inks and all that sort of thing, because that's information I just did not have off the top of my head for sure. Here's a little bit of information for you. This comes in a 40 ml bottle for $20, and you can also get it in samples for like the $2 to $3 range, depending on where you get it. And dang it, I suggest you do so because this ink is gorgeous. So let's do a little bit of a water drop test here. We'll look at it next to some other inks. I'll show you it on some other papers, and that'll be it. And you can go get yourself a bottle because this is cool. All right, let's get this on here. Burp. There. All right, you can immediately see all this blue coming up, which is not a huge surprise because I already showed you that this started out blue, right? But it's easy to forget that it's blue because it turns teal pretty quickly. So let's get this off of here. The name of this ink translates to rust green, which is pretty funny, pretty fun, right? Sabimidori, rust green. So when you take off these green layers and you're left with these blue layers underneath, really neat. Now, I wouldn't call this water resistant exactly, but I will say the blue definitely sticks around. The green all comes away. Like you can see a little bit of green here where it didn't really get wet, but you have this nice sky blue layer in here, which does look like it has water resistance. So that's pretty cool. It'll be a little bit of a mess, but you'll be able to read your work if you happen to spill your iced tea on it. So keep your iced tea away from it. You won't have to care, but If you do, you got this nice blue color, and that's pretty cool. I also imagine a lot of the artists out there are going to want to use this for things like ink washes and such like that, because you have such a stark difference between the bright blue underneath and the tealy, foresty, verdant green on the top there that's hard to describe. Okay, let's look at this on a couple of other papers. Here's my Tomoe River ink journal, and it's right here. This is the Hokusai-sabimidori right there. Of course, it is gorgeous on this Tomoe River. It does come off a bit more on the blue side, I think. You get kind of this like sort of corroded copper kind of blue and green from this ink, and it's a color I really enjoy. A little bit of sheen there, some definite shading, good stuff. Then here on my wheat straw paper, this currently inked notebook, we have it right down here. And on this paper, it definitely looks a lot more green than it did on the other. For whatever reason, different papers make this ink look differently, and you get a lot more of the green, a little bit less of the sheen on this paper, but definitely still some here in this this word, though not in a huge amount of the rest of it. So really interesting stuff. All right, so let's take a look at this next to some other inks. Here it is on my coloring card, Colodex card, I should say. Just scooch back a little bit. There we go. All right, now I had a lot of trouble finding inks that were anything close to this because I just don't have anything that's real close to this in my repertoire. So this is Diamine Salamander, which is definitely a darker, more olivey green, but you do get a few of the same tones throughout in here. So if you'd like something like Salamander, but you'd also like it to go more teal and blue and more sheen, maybe this, but not that close. Then I've got here Ackerman Dutch Masters. This is the Deuce Emerald Green. And this, again, has a few of the same tones, but like I said, I don't have anything exactly like this one. So a couple of the same tones, but overall quite different. Then Sailor Ink Studio 964. I was hoping this would be a little bit closer than it actually is, but some of the tones up here in this shady bluish bit up the top are kind of the same as some of the tones you get here in 964, but 964, while it's a gorgeous ink, is just not as good looking as Sabimidori. It's just, I mean, it's much more consistent and not as like interesting and changeable. Then lastly, I found this this Blue Hour sample, and this has a little bit of similarity with some of the stuff up here in the top and over here. Oh, we forgot to look at the chromatography. We'll do that directly. But a little bit here and a little bit here, you get some of the same tones, but this Sabimidori might be a unique ink sample for me. I have a lot of greens, a lot of teals. I went through so many sections of my Colodex trying to find something that was even close, and those are as close as I got, and they're not very close. So check this one out. It is a rarity. All right, here's the chromatography, and as you can see, there is a huge blue component to this on either side of the green. So down here, that light blue you saw when we washed the green top layer away in our water drop test. Then you have this green top layer. It's a really beautiful emeraldy green. And then up here at the very top, you grab my little needle here, you have this ultraviolet layer. Which, I mean, look at this, or ultramarine, I don't know, some kind of like bluish purple color up here at the top. Really interesting set of chromatographies for this ink. This is complicated stuff. So there you go. This is Hokusai-sabimidori. There's the blue. There's the green it turns into. Definitely worth a check out. I will see y'all in another video. Peace out.